Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Entertainment Vehicle. I'm your host, Mitch, the chauffeur, if you will. And as I have been doing the past few weeks, I'm going to do another set of Hans Christian Andersen fairy tales. Today, I'm going to be doing The Flea and the Professor and The Snowman, which I have no idea what either of them are about, so I can't even give you a pre-story synopsis. We're just going to fly by the seat of our pants. If you would like to hear more, obviously you can go back and listen to the older episodes. I just finished the story The Giver that everyone had to read back in high school. And I've read a couple of, I think 4 now, short stories from Hans Christian Andersen. So go back, listen to those, hit the follow button. I'd really appreciate that. And I mean, from then on out, we'll just give this episode a listen. The Flea and the Professor. There was once an aeronaut with whom things went badly. The balloon burst, tumbled the man out, and broke into bits. I thought it said broke into his bits. That man's nuts are no more. His boy he had 2 minutes before, sent down with a parachute. That was the boy's luck. He was unhurt and went about with knowledge enough to make him an aeronaut too. But he had no balloon and no means of acquiring one. So they're both just a couple of balloonless wonder boys. But live he must, and so he applied himself to the art of Legerdemain and to talking in his stomach. What does that even mean? In fact, he became a ventriloquist, as they say. Interesting. He was young, good-looking, and when he got a mustache and had his best clothes on, he could be taken for a nobleman's son. The ladies seemed to think well of him. One young lady even was so taken with his charms and his great dexterity. Wow. She likes that he's flexible, or she likes that he fucks good? Which one? I'm very curious. And then she went off with him to foreign parts. There he called himself professor. He could scarcely do less. What foreign parts did he go to? Below the belly button? No, I don't know. His constant thought was how to get himself a balloon and go up into the air with his little wife. But as yet they had no means. They'll come yet, said he. If only they would, said she. Do you think she loves air balloons too? She wants to be a aeronautess, or I suppose it'd just be aeronaut. We're progressive, but what would that have been back in the day? I wonder. We are young folks, said he. Oh, it'd be a witch. Never mind, she'd be a witch. Ha, got him. And now I am a professor. Oh, we are young folks, said he, and now I am professor. Okay, I don't understand what he's saying. She helped him faithfully, sat at the door, and sold tickets to the exhibition. Okay, what in the heck? And it was a chilly sort of pleasure in winter time. She also helped him in the line of his art. He put his wife in a table drawer, a large table drawer, and then she crawled into the back part of the drawer, and so was not in the front part. Quite an optical illusion to the audience. Oh, Hans Christian Andersen, you're spoiling my best magic trick. Come on now. But one evening, when he drew the drawer out, she was also out of sight to him. What? She was not in the front drawer, and not in the back one either. Not in the house itself. Nowhere to be seen or heard. That was her feat of Legerdemain. Apparently that's magicianism back in the day. Her entertainment. She never came back again. She was tired of it all. And he grew tired of it. And he grew tired of it, lost his good humor, could not laugh or make jokes, and so the people stopped coming. Oh no, losing business. His earnings became scanty earnings, I feel that. His clothes gave out, and finally he only owned a great flea. Does that mean like an actual flea? With which his wife had left him, so he thought highly of it. And he dressed the flea and taught it to perform, to present arms, and to fire a cannon off. But it was a little cannon. Yeah, that's a little flea. That's like jumping on the dog's back, singing about fucking canine advantage. Advantage. I can't remember. The professor was proud of the flea, and the flea was proud of himself. Ha, good flea, happy for you. He had learned something and had human blood. Ew, oh no, he's drinking the man's blood and had been beside to the largest cities. Okay, fleas care about that. Yep. Had been seen by princes and princesses and had received their high praise, and it was printed in the newspapers and on placards. Plainly it was a very famous flea and could support a professor and his entire family. Wow, that's a good flea. The flea was proud and famous, and yet when he and the professor traveled, they took fourth-class carriages on the railway. They went just as quickly as the first class. They were betrothed to each other. It was a private engagement that would never come out. They would never marry. The flea would remain a bachelor, and the professor a widower. They made it balance. What? Why are they talking about the flea and the fucking professor being married now? Like, where did that even come from? I need to know the drugs this guy was on. Okay. They were fucking engaged in an engagement that would never come out. Do you think he just sat there at night? Oh, you're the cutest flea. I love you so much. People will never accept it, though. They'll never accept my love for the flea. Okay. Where one has the best luck, said the professor, there one ought to go twice. Oh, that makes sense. He was a good judge of character, and that is also a science of itself. At last he had traveled all over the countries except the wild ones, and so he wanted to go there. They eat Christian men there, to be sure, the professor knew. Uh-oh. But then he was not properly Christian. Wow, that's crazy. And the flea was not properly a man. Apparently it was a woman. It's his betrothed. So he thought they might venture to travel there and have good success. You know what? I wonder if that's actually true. I wonder if less atheists have been eaten than Christians. We might want to do a little bit of research into that. Look that up. Put that in your review if you do one. Which you think have been eaten more, atheists or Christians? I'm leaning towards Christians because they got those mission parties going out. So who knows? Anywho, they traveled by steamship and by sailing vessel. The flea performed his tricks, and so they got a free passage on the way, and arrived at the wild country. Wow, what good flea. Here reigned a little princess. She was only 8 years old, but she was reigning. Oh, she was up. She's on it. She had taken away the power from her father and mother, for she had a will, and then she was extraordinarily beautiful and rude. I wonder how old she is. They said little princess, so I'm picturing a child, but then they're talking about how extraordinarily beautiful. I don't know. Just as soon as the flea had presented arms and fired off the cannon, she was so enraptured with him that she said, "Him or nobody." She became quite wild with love and was already wild in other ways. Huh? What? Sweet little sensible child, said her own father, if one could only first make a man of him. Leave that to me, old man, said she, and that was not well said by a little princess when talking to her with her father, but she was wild. She set the flea on her white hand. She's gonna put that on her vagina. Ew. Now that you are a man, oh, she already did. She already made it a man. Now that you are a man, reigning with me, but you shall do what I want you to, or else I'll kill you and eat the professor. I might do that too. Yummy. The professor had a great hall to live in. The walls were made of sugar cane, and he could lick them. That's disgusting. But he was not a sweet tooth. He had a hammock to sleep in. Wait, what? That's just a fucking out-of-line sentence. It was as if he were lying in a balloon, such as he had always wished for himself. That was his constant thought. So, are we going to find out that the real hot air balloon was the beds we were in all along, and he should have just slept with the flea? Is that the end story? The flea lived with the princess, sat upon her delicate hand, and upon her white neck. Oh, what very kind. She had taken a hair from her head, and made the professor to tie it to the flea's leg, and so she kept him tied to the great red coral drop with which she wore in her ear tip. What a delightful time the princess had, and the flea too, she thought, but the professor was not very comfortable. He was a traveler. He liked to drive from town to town and read about his perseverance and cleverness in teaching a fly to do what men do. So just go get another flea. But he got out of his hammock, lounged about, and had a good feeling. Fresh bird's eggs, elephant eyes, and toast. Oh, roast giraffe. That's delicious. People that eat men do not live entirely on cooked men. No, that is a great delicacy. I'm confused. People that eat men do not live entirely on cooked men. So are we saying that while he was a professor, he was eating people to survive? Because that's what I'm getting from that sentence. And if so, I deem this professor unworthy. The professor was tired of it all and would rather go away from the wild land. But he must have his flea with him, for that was his prodigy and his bread and butter. How was he to get hold of him? This was no easy matter. He strained with all his wits, and then he said, "Now I have it." Oh, he's gonna figure out how to get the flea back. Princess's father, that'd be the king, give me a favor. May I summon your subjects to present themselves before your royal highness? That is what is called a ceremony in the high and mighty countries of the world. Can I too learn to do that? Asked the princess's father. Is he asking Flea fucking circuit? What is that guy in? What's the guy in the circus called? Oh shit! I'm not gonna think of it. I don't care. And don't tweet it. Don't actually tweet it. I don't care. Tweet me. At entertain vehicle. It's entertain vehicle, like entertainment vehicle, but without an E and without the ment, because that was either too long or taken. Anyway, that is not quite proper, replied the professor, but I shall reach your wild fathership to fire a cannon off. It goes off with a bang. One sits high up aloft, and then off it goes, or down he comes. Let me crack it off, said the princess's father. But in all the land there was no cannon except the one the flea had brought, and that was so very small. I will cast a bigger one, said the professor. Only give me the means. I must have fine silk stuff, needle and thread, rope and cord, together with cordial drops for the balloon. They blow one up so easily and give one the heaves. They are what make the report in the cannons inside. Oh, I see what he's doing. By all means, said the princess's father, and gave him what he called for. All the court and the entire population came together to see the great cannon cast. The professor did not summon them before he had the balloon entirely ready to be filled up and go up. The flea sat on the princess's hand and looked on. The balloon was filled, it bulged out and could scarcely be held down, so violent did it become. I must have it up in the air before it can be cooled off, said the professor, and took his seat in the car which hung below. But I cannot manage and steer it alone. I must have a skillful companion along to help me. There was no one here that can do that except the flea. I am not very willing to let them, said the princess, but still she reached out and handed the flea to the professor, who placed him on his hand. Ah, the boys are back in town again. Okay, let's go. Let's go. Let go the ropes and cords, he shouted, and now the balloon's going. They thought he said the cannon, and so the balloon went higher and higher, up above the clouds, far away from the wild land. The little princess, all the family, and the people sat and waited. They are waiting still, and if you do not believe it, just take a journey to the wild land. Every child there talks about the professor and the flea, and believes that they are coming back when the cannon is cooled off. But they will not come. They are at home with us. They are in their native country. They travel on the railway, first class, not fourth. They have good success, a great balloon. No one asks how they got their balloon or where it came from. They are rich folks now, quite respectable folks indeed, the flea and the professor. And that's the end of that story. Ending thoughts? I don't know. I don't know what is going on in these stories. I thought they were supposed to have like morals and lessons and things of the such, but it feels like, I mean, in the spirit of the podcast, I suppose, they're just tales to be told as tales. Like, there's no lesson, there's no moral. It doesn't even necessarily make sense. It's just, hey, here's a little crazy tale of a crazy thing that this crazy guy did, and he just makes it up on the spot. Jerking chains since fucking 1889 or whatever. But the second story is a little bit longer, and it is called The Snowman. And now to begin, The Snowman. It is so delightfully cold, said the snowman, that it makes my whole body crackle. This is just the kind of wind to blow life into one. How that great red thing up there is staring at me, he meant the sun, who is just setting. It shall not make me wink, I shall manage to keep the pieces. He had two triangular pieces of tile in his head instead of eyes. His mouth was made of an old broken rake, and was, of course, furnished with teeth. What kind of teeth? He had been brought into existence amidst the joyous shouts of boys, the jingling of sleigh bells, and the slashing of whips. The sun went down, and the full moon rose, large, round, and clear, something in the deep blue, shining in the deep blue. Is this, a James Cameron Avatar ass they're looking at? There it comes again, though, from the other side, said the snowman, who supposed the sun was showing himself once more. Ah, I have cured him of staring, though. Now he may hang up there and shine, that I may see myself. If only I knew how to manage to move away from this place. I would so like to move if I could. If I could, I would slide along yonder on the ice, as I have seen the boys do. But I don't understand how. I don't even know how to run. Away, away, barked the old yard dog. He was quite hoarse and could not pronounce bow wow properly. He had once been an indoor dog and lay by the fire, as he had been hoarse ever since. The sun will make you run one day. I saw him last winter make your predecessor run, and his predecessor before him. Away, away, they all have to go. Damn, this dog is just preying on his downfall. Okay. I don't understand you, comrade. He actually says that, says the snowman. Is that thing up yonder to teach me to run? Hey, look at that. I saw it running itself a little while ago, and now it has come creeping from the other side. You know nothing at all, replied the yard dog, but then you've only lately been patched up. What you see yonder is the moon, and the one before it was the sun. It will come again tomorrow, and will most likely teach you to run down into the ditch by the well, for I think the weather is going to change. Oh, shit. Dog's predicting some, a heat wave. Rough Barkley here with the weather, looking for a heat wave. I don't understand him, said the snowman to himself, but I have a feeling that he is talking of something very disagreeable. I don't know what hoarfrost is. It's spelled H-O-A-R. So I don't know. And it looked like a forest of white coral. Well, on every twig glittered frozen dewdrops. That's hard to say. Dewdrops. Mountain dewdrops. Dew. The many delicate forms concealed in summer by luxuriant foliage were now clearly defined and looked like glittering lacework. That doesn't make sense. From every twig glistened a white radiance. The birch, waving in the wind, looked full of life, and trees in summer, and its appearance was wondrously beautiful, and where the sun shone, how everything glittered and sparkled, as if diamond dust had been strewn about. I mean, it had. That and cocaine. While the snowy carpet of earth appeared as if covered with diamonds, from which countless lights gleamed, whiter than even the snow itself. This is really beautiful, said the young girl, who had come into the garden with a young man, and they both stood still near the snowman and contemplated the glittering scene. Summer cannot show a more beautiful sight, she exclaimed, while her eyes sparkled. Oh, she loves the winter. And we can't have such a fellow as this in the summertime, replied a young girl, pointing to the snowman. He is capital. Oh, okay. The girl laughed and nodded at the snowman, and then tripped away over the snow with her friend. The snow creaked and crackled beneath their feet, as if she had been treading on starch.
Who are these two? Asked the snowman of the yard dog. You have been here longer than I have. Do you know them? Of course I know them, replied the yard dog. She has stroked my back many times, and has given me a bone of meat. I never bite those two. Ah, hell yeah, he bites the boys, though. But what are they? Asked the snowman. They are lovers, he replied. They will go and live in the same kennel by and by, and gnaw at the same bone away and away. Okay. Interesting. The girl's gnawing at the same bone, I would say. And are they the same kind of beings as you and I? Asked the snowman. Well, they belong to the same master, retorted the yard dog. Certainly people who are only born yesterday know very little. I can see that in you. Wow, this dog is pretentious. I have age and experience. I know everyone here in the house, and I know there was once a time when I did not lie out here in the cold fastened to a chain. Away, away. Why does he keep saying away, away? The cold is one delightful, said the snowman, but do tell me. Only you must not clank your chain so, for it jars all through me when you do that. Away, away, barked the yard dog. I'll tell you. They said I was a pretty little fellow once. Then I used to lie in a velvet-covered chair up at the master's house and sit in the mistress's lap. They used to kiss my nose and wipe my paws with an embroidered handkerchief, and I was called Ami, dear Ami, sweet Ami. But after a while I grew too big for them, and they sent me away to the housekeeper's room. So I came to live on the lower story. You can look into the room from where you stand and see where I was master once, for I was indeed master to the housekeeper. It was certainly a smaller room than those upstairs, but I was more comfortable, for I was not being continually taken hold of and pulled about by the children as I had been. I received quite as good food, or even better. I had my own cushion, and there I was a stove. It is the finest thing in the world at this season of the year. I used to go under the stove and lie down quite beneath it. Ah, I still dream of that stove. Away, away. Why does he keep saying away, away? I'm just gonna stop saying it. Should I? Should I keep saying it? I don't know. Does a stove look beautiful? Asked the snowman. Is it at all like me? Oh, it's exactly like you. It is the reverse of you, said the dog. It's as black as crow and has a long neck and a brass knob. It eats firewood so that fire spurts out of its mouth. You should keep on one side or under it to be comfortable. You can see it through the window from where you stand. Then the snowman looked and saw a bright polished thing with a brazen knob and fire gleaming from the lower part of it. The snowman felt quite a strange sensation come over him. It was very odd. He knew not what it meant, and he could not account for it. But there are people who are not men of snow, who understand what it is. And why did you leave her? Said the snowman, for it seemed to him that the stove must be of female sex. That's a chick stove because it's so hot. How could you give up such a comfortable place? I was obliged, replied the yard dog. They turned me out of doors and chained me up here. I had bitten the youngest of my master's son in the leg, because he kicked away the bone I was gnawing. Bone for bone, I thought. Damn, okay. But they were so angry, and from that time I have been fastened with a chain, and lost my bone. Don't you hear how hoarse I am? Away, away. I can't talk any more like other dogs. Away, away. That is the end of it all. So, yeah, that's, I mean, bad dog, but also bad kid. You know what I'm saying? And he didn't break his bone, it doesn't sound like, so let the dog live. Let him in. But the snowman was no longer listening. He was looking into the housekeeper's room on the lower story, where the stove stood on its 4 iron legs, looking about the same size as a snowman himself. That's pretty big. Either that's a big fireplace or that's a small snowman. What a strange crackling I feel within me, he said. Shall I ever get in there? I doubt it. It is an innocent wish, and innocent wishes are sure to be fulfilled. I must go in there and lean against her, even if I have to break the window. That's smart. You must go in there. You must never go in there, said the yard dog, for if you approach the stove, you'll melt away, away. That one made sense to use. I might as well go, said the snowman, for I think I am breaking up as it is. During the whole day, the snowman stood looking in through the window, and in the twilight hour, the room became still more inviting. For from the stove came a gentle glow, not like the sun or the moon. No. I mean, I feel like it's probably brighter than the moon. But no, only the bright light which gleams from the stove when it has been well fed. When the door of the stove was open, the flames darted out of its mouth. This is customary with all stoves, that is known. The light of the flames fell directly on the face and the breast of the snowman, with a ruddy gleam. I can endure it no longer, said he. How beautiful it looks when it stretches out its tongue. Ayo. I feel that. He likes it when they do that ahegio or ahego? I don't know. You guys know what it is, and if you don't, look it up, I dare you. The night was long, but did not appear so to the snowman, who stood there enjoying his own reflections and crackling with the cold. In the morning, the window panes of the housekeeper's room were covered with ice. They were the most beautiful ice flowers any snowman could desire, but they concealed the stove. Cursed ice flowers. These window panes would not thaw, and he could see nothing of the stove, which he pictured to himself as if it had been a lovely human being. Oh, so he's got a human fetish, a skin fetish. The snow crackled, and the wind whistled around him. It was just the kind of frosty weather a snowman might thoroughly enjoy, but he did not enjoy it. How, indeed, could he enjoy anything when he was stove sick? I'm stove sick too, honestly. This is a terrible disease for a snowman, said the yard dog. I have suffered from it myself, but I got over it. Away, away, he barked, and then he added, the weather is going to change, and the weather did change. It began to thaw. As the warmth increased, the snowman decreased. He said nothing and made no complaint, which is a sure sign. One morning he broke, and sunk down altogether, and behold, where he had stood, something like a broomstick remained sticking up in the ground. It was the pole round which the boys had built him up. Ah, now I understand why he had such longing for the stove, said the yard dog. Why, there's a shovel that was used for cleaning out the stove, fastened to the pole. The snowman had a stove scraper in his body. That was what moved him so. But it's all over now. Away, away. And soon the winter passed. Away, away, barked the horse yard dog. But the girls in the house sang, come from your fragrant home. I'm not going to, well, fuck it. Come from your come from your fragrant home, green thyme, green thyme. Stretch your soft branches, willow tree. The months are bringing the sweet springtime, when the lark in the skies sings joyfully. Come, gentle sun, while the cuckoo sings, and I'll mock his note in my wanderings. And nobody thought any more of the snowman. Wow. To me, that sounds like it's a lesson in, like, the beauty of life. You have to appreciate what you can. And what you find beautiful depends on the shovel inside your head. I don't know. That one kind of felt like it was still just another little bit of a story to tell for the sake of having a story, but could have been some life lessons in there if you dig deep enough. If you enjoyed the show, that's it. That's the end of the story. If you enjoyed the show, I hope you did. Please go ahead and give the show a 5-star review in whatever listening platform you are listening on. And I think you can do it in all of them. If it requires a comment, just reference something in the show or say like, best show. Just say whatever you want. It doesn't make a huge difference. I mean, if you hype me up, I appreciate it, obviously. But they really want a 5-star review to be able to be like, hey, we can recommend this show to people or whatever. So please do that. Like I said earlier, go ahead in the show description, follow my socials, my Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, all those good things. Thank you again for listening. I appreciate you. I hope to see you next week on another episode of Entertainment Vehicle. Bye!